Dubai International Airport's revenue model is more complex than a ticket price. The airport makes money in ways that are mostly invisible to the passenger sitting in the gate. Landing fees. Every aircraft that touches down pays a landing fee calculated by weight and aircraft type. At Dubai's traffic volumes, landing fees alone generate hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Every day of closure is a day of zero landing fee revenue against full operational costs, because the building does not stop needing electricity, air conditioning, security, and maintenance just because the planes stop arriving. Retail concessions. The retail in Dubai International Airport generated approximately $1.5 billion in revenue in a pre-pandemic peak year. Dubai duty-free, the retail operation inside the airport, is consistently ranked among the highest-grossing airport retail operations in the world. It sells everything from electronics to gold, to liquor, to perfume, to luxury goods, to 92 million passengers per year who have time to spend and a tax-free incentive to spend it. Every day of empty terminals is a day of zero retail concessions against full operating costs. Hotel occupancy. The airport sits adjacent to multiple hotel properties that run at near capacity during normal operations, servicing the perpetual flow of transit passengers who need a few hours of sleep between connections. Empty terminal, empty hotels, empty restaurants, empty parking structures. The airport is an ecosystem, and when the airport stops, the ecosystem stops. Cargo. Dubai International is not just a passenger hub. It is one of the world's largest air cargo facilities, handling 2.7 million metric tons of freight annually, making it consistently the second or third largest cargo airport on Earth. The pharmaceutical supply chains, aside of the technology components, the luxury goods, the perishables running through Dubai's cargo operation on tight timing, all of it halted when the airspace closed. The downstream impact on supply chains across the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia from a multi-day Dubai cargo closure is a number that nobody has yet fully calculated. Before February 28th, Dubai International Airport had competitors. Every hub has competitors. But Dubai's competitive position was so dominant that the competition was largely theoretical. Doha's Hamad International was excellent, but Qatar was smaller and geopolitically complicated. Istanbul's new airport was ambitious, but Turkey carried its own risk premiums. Singapore was superb, but on the wrong side of the network for European-African traffic. Abu Dhabi had Etihad, but Etihad had never achieved Emirates' scale. After February 28th, the theoretical became practical. Within 72 hours of the first strikes, airlines operating through the UAE began quietly activating contingency routings. Flights that would normally transit Dubai were redirected through Doha, through Istanbul, through Abu Dhabi. Passengers who had booked Dubai connections began calling travel agents to ask whether alternative routings existed and what the cost difference was. The cost difference was, in most cases, minimal. Which was the problem? Dubai's premium over its competitors was not primarily price. It was reliability and network scale. The moment reliability became uncertain, even temporarily, the premium evaporated. And without the reliability premium, Dubai's hub was priced against hubs that were suddenly, for the first time, genuinely competitive. Qatar Airways, whose relationship with the UAE had been complicated for years, following the 2017 diplomatic blockade, saw a traffic surge that its operations team had not planned for. The surge required operational adjustments. The operational adjustments required investments. The investments were made because Doha understood, with absolute clarity, that the window created by Dubai's February disruption was a strategic opportunity that would not repeat. Hamad International Airport had been planning an expansion to 70 million passengers annually. After February 28th, the business case for accelerating that expansion became considerably easier to make. There is a section of Dubai International Airport that most passengers never see. Not because it's restricted, because it has been, for extended periods, unnecessary. Terminal 2, The older facility that handles lower-cost carriers and regional traffic has operated at reduced capacity for years, as Terminal 3 absorbed the bulk of Emirates' growing operation. But Terminal 2's story is a preview of what excess capacity looks like in an airport context. Lights on, infrastructure maintained, staff contracted, and gates sitting empty because the traffic that was supposed to fill them never fully materialized, or materialized elsewhere, or materialized on a schedule that made the terminal a partially utilized building rather than the machine of perpetual motion that Terminal 3, at its peak, genuinely was. After February 28th, the emptiness spread, not permanently, not completely, but visibly. And the concourse that 72 hours earlier had been a river of humanity in motion. Families with strollers, business travelers with laptop bags, transit passengers navigating connection times in their heads while walking faster than most people run, became something closer to stillness. Retail units that had never closed during the airport's operational history pulled their shutters. Not because they were required to, because the customers had stopped arriving, and staffing empty shops is a cost without a corresponding revenue. The duty-free corridor, the stretch of airport retail that has generated more revenue per square meter than almost any commercial real estate in the world, echoed. The airport had been many things in its history. A regional facility, a growing hub, a great hub, the greatest hub. No, a record-breaking machine of international transit. It had never been quiet. Quiet was new, and the airport, like the city around it, had no established protocol for quiet. Before February 28th, the new Al Maktoum International Airport was the future, an $88 billion development in Dubai South, 37 kilometers from the existing airport, designed ultimately to handle 260 million passengers per year, 5 times the capacity of Dubai International at its peak. The largest aviation facility in human history, when complete. Construction was proceeding on schedule. The first phase, targeting 150 million passengers, was projected for completion by 2030. Emirates had announced plans to relocate its operations to Al Maktoum progressively as the new facility came online. The logic was clear. Dubai International was running out of room. Al Maktoum had essentially infinite room, built on desert land far from the residential density that was encroaching on the existing airport. After February 28th, Al Maktoum International Airport became a question. Not because the construction stopped. The construction did not stop. But the business case that underpinned the $88 billion investment was built on a traffic projection. A projection that assumed Dubai International's 92 million passengers would grow to numbers that required a facility 5 times larger. A projection that assumed the hub model was not just intact, but expanding. A projection that assumed the thing Dubai International represented. The certainty, the reliability, the geographic argument that the city was the mandatory transit point for 2/3 of the world was permanent. So the projection did not assume February 28th. An $88 billion investment decision, once made, is not easily unmade. The contracts are signed. The land is graded. The concrete is poured. You do not stop an airport because geopolitical risk has increased. You adjust. You reforecast. You extend your timelines and revise your traffic models. But somewhere, in the financial models that justify the remaining $70 billion of investment not yet committed, someone is running a sensitivity analysis they were not running on February 27th.